Hello everyone, it's SpursReady96 here, and welcome to the 4th episode of the FIFA 18 Zenit St Petersburg career mode. We begin today's match at our home ground, the Krozny Stadium, where we will be playing up against Akhmat Krozny. If you haven't watched the first episode, I suggest you check that one out, as we began our home campaign with a game against the reigning champion Spartak Moscow. And what a match that was. As you can see, look at the league table. We are first place with 12 points, 1 point ahead of Dynamo Moscow, but we have a game in hand over them. Akhmat Krozny 14th in the league with 1 win and 3 defeats. Not good for them. As you can see there by the team, we have introduced the secondary team to the first time in the career mode. The first time they will be in action since pre-season, when they lost 3-1 against Leicester City in the pre-season cup. And as you can see, in the same formation, the 3-5-1, as we have also with the first team. We're going to come on to the first half highlights here on the 30th minute, and you can see Akhmat Krozny already creating a chance here. And here's I don't know who he is, but it's a good save from Lojkin, the secondary choice keeper, and hopefully he can become the first keeper in our home ground to secure a clean sheet for Zenit St Petersburg at the Krozny Stadium. We've yet to do that, and we come on to the 39th minute, and we managed to get the ball back. Here's Kraneviter now, and he's passed it to Panankov, whoever his name is. Here's Pletnev, 19-year-old, now back to Ekrin. They're all making their competitive debuts in the league. Panankov, and it was Bola scores, and Zenit St Petersburg take the lead, coming up to 42 minutes. I have to be honest with you, I was very relieved when we scored that goal, because we have been, the secondary team, a bit unconvincing. They have lacked, not determination, so to speak, but they've lacked quality in the final third. We haven't created as many chances either. And we've been a bit laboured in the first half. That's the best way to call it. We've been very laboured in the first half, and I thought we would come in 0-0. But I'm very relieved, and Poloz is also very pleased to get his first goal for the club. He didn't score in pre-season, I believe. And Dmitry Poloz gets his first goal in the Russian Premier League, and the secondary team lead in the Russian Premier League for the first time this season, 1-0 against Akhmat Krozny. And that was it, half time. And a very disappointing first half in terms of performance. Obviously pleased to go in 1-0 up at the break, but the fans will be disappointed that we've been held by Akhmat Krozny. We were laboured, we struggled to create chances, and we've lacked a bit of determination and drive to get forward and create chances. But luckily Poloz managed to score the goal on the 43rd minute, just before half time, and it's 1-0 to Zenit St Petersburg at the break. And we're going to go on to the other results around the ground. Well, there's only one result around the ground, and once again it's FC Krozny who we keep seeing the half-time result, and they lead 1-0 against Amkar Perm. We're going to come on to the second half highlights, the 52nd minute in particular, and it's a great pass from Pletnev in towards Nabelin, and Nabelin's going to come forward here, and it's Nabelin, and he puts it in. The left back scores, and Zenit St Petersburg extend their lead just past 54 minutes into the second half. I've asked the team I put the team an all-out attack. I really wanted to go forward and create chances, because I was just a bit nervous that we're trying to get forward and create problems for Akhmat Krozny, but they were just sitting there in their own half, really defending for most of the first half. And I thought it's time to put it up another gear and really take the fight to Akhmat Krozny. You can see on the 79th minute, and Ozdev has given the ball away by the looks of it. Poloz has got the ball back. Now Semedov of the opposition has got the ball back. He's passed it to Leo, and Leo's going forward and puts it wide. And is it a corner kick? We'll fire. I don't think it is. No, it's not a corner kick. It was a goal kick for Lojkin. Melvjer gets it back, taking down the defender, the forward there, and Semedov and Ozdov's giving it away in towards Leo, and Akhmat Krozny score, and they have pulled one back just with 5 minutes left to go. We've given the ball away and Leo with a great finish there, and it's going to be a nervy finish, and Lojkin will not get his first clean sheet on his Premier League his first start of the season, and we still won't have a clean sheet on our home turf, which is all the more disappointing. A barren statistic I want to get rid of, really. And Leo Jabber scores his first goal for the season, and Akhmat Krozny are back in the game. 2-1, and and that's it. That was the end of the second half. A disappointing game in terms of performance. We were laboured. I mean, credit to Akhmat Krozny. They held us at bay at times and frustrated us to create chances. They really were good in organisation and closed us down and dispossessed us, particularly towards the end of the second half. They were a bit more determined towards the end. They were running up. We were running a bit tired, running on empty on tanks. But yeah, they got a goal back, but we managed to just edge it. A 2-1 victory against Akhmat Krozny. Relieved to win. That's the best emotion I felt. That best sums up the game. Relieved. And around the scores, and NFC Krozny won 1-0 against Amkar Perm. And speaking of Amkar Perm, for the final game of the episode, we will be going to Amkar Perm in a rather rainy on a rainy day for them. And if you Amkar Perm, they're struggling in the league in the game. I think they're 15th, and I think they've only got 1 point, which is so hopefully we'll be able to get a result. But also in real life, Amkar Perm were actually dissolved, just like FC Tosno, because of financial problems, so they no longer exist. So, and as you can see by the table, they're 15th with just 1 point. Only SKA Khabarovsky is worse than them because they're bottom with no points at all. And as you can see there, a mountain to climb, it says. 4 goals scored for Akhmat Perm, the worst in the league compared to us, who've conceded just 3 goals, which is the best in the Russian Premier League. And I decided to give the secondary team another chance. I was particularly disappointed with the front 2 of our players. Off camera, when I wasn't editing the highlights together, they just weren't very good. And speaking of not very good, it's now just turned all of a sudden very good, because at half time, just before it, Kranevitter has scored for Zenit St Petersburg, and we take the lead in added time of the first half. And well, if you thought the performance was going to get any better, you've been proven wrong. Kranevitter played very, very well. They pretty much did the same as what Akhmat Krozny did, sit in their own half, defend like the clappers, and really frustrate us, but we managed to finally get a bit of quality. I don't know who supplied the pass, but either way, I couldn't read the name in time. Great vision from him. But Matthias Kranevitter gets his first goal in the Russian Premier League, and we lead, well, pretty much at half-time against Akhmat Perm. And as I was saying, before they went on and scored, the strikers were very disappointing in this episode. I mean, when they were given, when they were in a one-on-one situation with the keeper, they were very poor with their shots taken. They were wild and off target, and and sometimes then they did, and they were on target at times, and they made a keeper to make a one or two few saves. But the performance of the front 2 men I was particularly disappointed with. But either way, it is 1-0 to Zenit St Petersburg at half time against Amkar Perm. But then we come to 65th minute, and Akhmat Perm have stepped it up a level here, and Ojar has left it to, I don't know who it is, but towards Olan. Johnny scores, and Amkar Perm have levelled it against Zenit St Petersburg. And what a disaster that is for Zenit St Petersburg. The second half, we were nowhere near our best. We've sort of just dropped off our intensity levels and our determination to get forward and create problems for Amkar Perm, and it's cost us. I don't know his name, Okore or Ojoa, I don't know his name, but he scored a very good goal. Good build-up play from Amkar Perm. We're very, very disappointed, as I'm sure the away support will be in a very miserable rainy day there. And it's Aaron Olaner scores his 5th goal in the Russian league, so he's in fine form, it seems. And if it stays like this, Amkar Perm will get their first point since the opening day, I think, and is Olaner, and it's hit the bar right at the death, and we try desperately to clear it just to protect our point, and the full-time whistle goes, and dear oh dear, wow, Amkar Perm were on the verge of getting a famous victory, their first 3 points of the season against Zenit St Petersburg, who are top of the league. A disastrous second half performance from our secondary team. Major improvements will have to be made, and it's not like we need to buy new players, to restructure the team. We've bought players in, we've bought Kranevitter, Zenit St Petersburg bought Kranevitter, they brought in Cochrane, forget his name, let me just check briefly. I think he brought not Kuzev. He brought in, Dmitry Poloz from Rostov, Kraneviter from Atletico Madrid, Ekarin from Rostov, Ozdua from Rubik Kazan, Nabelin from Kazan, Mamana from Lyon, a lot of players in the secondary team we've brought as well, for the secondary team as well as the first team, so very poor. I think the strike force will have to be addressed, because we can't have those performances against those teams, because we're dropping points, and we dropped our points, our first draw of the season. Let's take a look at the league table quickly, as I've been rambling on and ranting on. We lead with 16 points, level with second place Lokomotiv Moscow, but we have 2 points in hand, where the goal difference is just 1 between us and Lokomotiv Moscow. FC Krozny is 14, us. Goal difference, and Lokomotiv Moscow's goal difference is 13, just 1. Krozny is third with 13 points, then 4th to 6th with 11 points is Dynamo Moscow, CSKA Moscow, Rubik Kazan, and then Spartak Moscow drop out of the top 6 to 7th with 10 points, and then from 8th all the way to 11th, we've got on 9 points is FC Ural, Tosno and Rostov, and then Anzi Makalela. And then FC UFA are 12th with 8 points, Arsenal Tula are 13th with 5 points, Akhmat Krozny are 14th with 4 points, they picked up a point in the next game, Amkar Perm have got their third draw, no win, but just all 3 points are draws, and SK Khabarovsky are 16th, but they have got a point at last, but 15 goals still conceded, the worst in the league. Let's take a look at the preview for the next episode. Very quick episode today has been. Next episode, we will be starting at the Krostovsky Stadium, where we will be hosting FC Rostov, who of course famously beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League and played very well against Manchester United in the Europa League knockout stages. Then, of course, we have transfer deadline day. That'll be great. Hopefully we can get some deals done if we have enough money left. And then we'll be going away to Dynamo Moscow, the other of the 3 promoted sides, who of course have had a good start to the season, languishing there in the top 6. They've been in the top 3 and pretty much on our tails every time I've checked the league table at the end of each episode. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. It's been a very quick episode. I hope I haven't talked too quickly, so I hope you could understood every word I said there. If not, I apologise, but either way, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Really enjoying making this series for you. I'm like the support as well. Thank you very much for that as well, and I'll see you next time in episode 5 of the Zenit St Petersburg career mode. Take care.